Hi, I'm Scott from Money Nerd, and today we're looking at individual voluntary arrangements, or IVAs, versus bankruptcy, and which insolvency option is best for you. So let's get into it. Okay, so there's three things to consider. Number one is your assets. Do you have any assets? Number two is your job. What will happen to your job? And number three is considering your stability of your life and how that might impact the choice that you make. So, do you have any assets to protect? When thinking about an IVA versus bankruptcy, there's a big difference if you have a house or if you don't have a house. If you have a house, then the logical option is to go for an IVA, because if you go down the bankruptcy route, you're very likely to lose your house. They'll make you sell it to repay the debts that you owe. If you go down the IVA route, legally you won't lose your house. However, be aware that they may ask you to remortgage your house to unlock equity, or do a secured loan against your house, and you end up actually with a loan. The disadvantages of an IVA, although you get to keep your house, are that it can take longer, or it will take longer, 5 to 6 years versus 1 year for bankruptcy. And you actually end up repaying more than you would if you were made bankrupt. If you could hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, I'd really appreciate it. So what about your job? How does insolvency, particularly IVA or bankruptcy, impact your job? Well, let's take it one by one. So IVAs have no impact on your job, whereas bankruptcy does have an impact on your job, but only if you're in certain professions. So professions like solicitor, being a member of parliament, a magistrate, charity trustee, or company director. So if you have your own company, then that can impact it. Otherwise, you're absolutely fine. Bankruptcy wouldn't impact your job, but it's just something to keep in mind if you're any one of those that I just listed. If you have poor health, or your job is not particularly secure, you don't know if you're going to have income the next month or the next 2 months or the next year, then that's an unstable situation, and we'd usually recommend that you go for the bankruptcy route when considering those factors. Reason being is that an IVA, individual voluntary arrangement, is not particularly flexible. You can't up and down your repayments as you see fit. It's a legally binding agreement. The thing about a bankruptcy is that it's over in a year. An IVA is over in 5 to 6 years, and a lot can happen in 5 to 6 years. For example, if you're young, if you're starting a new family, then think 5 to 6 years down the line, maybe you just got married, you could have 1 or 2 kids in 5 to 6 years, and that could dramatically change the amount that you can afford to repay on your IVA. Again, it doesn't sound like it's unstable, but if you project it over a 5 to 6 year period, things actually fluctuate quite a lot, and that can put pressure on an IVA. 3 out of 10 people, 30% of people, fail their IVA, and it's usually contributing factors like I just described that will cause IVAs to fail. So my bonus here is to validate your decision. If you decide to go for bankruptcy, or you decide to go for an IVA, you should really check in. So there's the Citizens Advice Bureau, but my top tip is to go on some forums. There's 2 forums I recommend, and 2 forums that I regularly contribute to. Those are Money Saving Expert and Legal Beagles. If you post your exact situation, your circumstance on those forums, there's many nice people, including myself, that will get back to you and give you some advice, steer you in the right direction. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you would like to see more videos around debt and personal finance, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you. Thank you and have a great day.